Let's see what we got here. Is my mic up? Mic's up. My mic's up. Hello. Okay, there we go. There we are. So, everybody can hear me. Let's get active on here. What up? No, what the fuck? Live. Let's change this up. Where are my backgrounds? God damn it. Is this it? That's it. All right. Let's see what we got here. Make sure everything's up and running. That's good. Fantastic. Bum, 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 bum. Y'all, how's it going? What up? I am just getting the second episode. I'm flying solo tonight. It's just going to be me complaining about what I want to complain about. I got some topics that I want to go over. Like I said, I was going to be taking on the red pill perspective and this resurgence of manosphere that I'm seeing across the interwebs. It's problematic. I don't like it. And the last time we let it fester and breed, we're not going to do that this time. We're not going to let these old disgruntled fuckers influence younger men. And they got away with it last time. It was a valiant effort. I gotta give it to them. But it's not going to be the case going forward. And I mean, people got into it, and there's been creators on other apps, and all your popular ones that talk about going back and forth with these guys, and they like to make things personal. They don't keep things stuck to the ideation, and I don't care for any of that shit. I'm not going to be slinging mud with these people. I'm going to stick to the content. But the first thing I want to talk about is the red pill resurgence. I've seen these conversations going on the internet. Also, if you don't know, this is my new stream. I do this Sundays nights. Usually I have a co-host. She's unavailable tonight. It's Katie, but I'm going to take up. If you are on Twitch, Kick, or YouTube, I'm streaming there as well. Usually when I have Katie there, you guys will be able to hear her there. But tonight is just me. So, today we're going to be talking about some things. You guys feel free to jump in any of the chats, ask questions, or comment, and we'll go from there. But it's just me flying solo tonight. What up, sir? So the red pill resurgence. I think we forgot, or they laid long enough to let the world forget how lame they actually are. Like, just how lame red pill creators actually are. And I'm gonna you guys won't be able to see it on the TikTok because I'm not streaming it from my PC. I'm streaming on my phone. So I'll play it it'll be on the YouTube stream. You'll be able to hear the clips and everything. But let me pull this up. sources. Let's see. Let me add this. Okay, hold on, y'all. Oh, why did it do that? Stop at 5. So what I have here is a clip pulled up of the Fresh and Fit yacht party that took place a year ago. And I think people forget just how bad this thing fucking was. Like, it was pretty fucking bad. Okay, and then we are gonna go. No, this isn't the URL I want. So get rid of that, and we'll copy, paste, paste. Okay, well, give it to me. There it is. Oh no. I don't know why that played so loud. So what we'll do is we'll put in. Sorry if you were listening over there and it got dumb loud. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna change this up. Lock in. I know, bro. Yeah. Display capture. There it is. Okay. There it is. That's what I wanted. Boom, boom. Now it's giving me what I want. So, I don't want the display capture. I want the. I'm behind it. There it is. Okay. So we could just blow this up. That way you guys can just see it, right? So on this Fresh and Fit yacht party, which y'all can't hear. Hold on 1 second. Getting a phone call. Come in. Okay, thanks. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. So what you won't see unless you're on YouTube is there's a Fresh and Fit yacht party, right? And they threw this. I forget how much the tickets were. Guys paid, or some people were awarded access. I think they gave out watches, Rolexes, make the guys feel real special and shit. But if you go over to the YouTube or the Twitch right now, what you'll see is a clip of these losers and these red pill guys, right? They're on the boat, this yacht, or I don't know what you can refer to it as yacht. And there's women. There's women there, right? But in the middle of this boat, which kind of looks like the ferry you take across from Staten Island to Manhattan, it's not a very big boat by any means. Sorry, I don't know how kids be. It's not a big boat, you know what I mean, by any means. No fancy like yacht you would see like rappers or ball players or anybody billionaires would have. It's just a normal like party yacht. There's this group of guys in the middle of the dance floor, and music's bumping, people are having a good time. You can see, right? But what you'll notice is there's one point there's a girl, she gets into the circle and does a dance moves. What up, live? Appreciate you checking out the Twitch or the YouTube, excuse me. Shout out to the Twitch viewers. Let me know y'all in the Twitch. Drop a comment so I know you're there. And shout out to the Kick. Drop a comment so I know you're there as well. Thanks for checking out the other platforms. Underneath the name podcast, ENTERLOOM. So, if you're watching the video clip with me over right now, you see it's just a bunch of guys. And like there's women back here, there's women over here, but these dudes are standing in the middle of the circle, dancing with each other, recording each other, got the phones in their hands, lights going, flashlight on, and they're all just dancing on each other. Now these are supposed to be your red pill, get women, baddies, all this extra shit, right? They're mentally locked in. That's who they are. They are paid. They are absolutely paid actresses. 100% they were paid to be there, like 1,000%. I think that actually came out too. A few of them were on like contract to be there, paid a couple $100, maybe a few $1,000 to be there. But this is the level of lane that like these guys exude. These red pill, conservative, manosphere types. I think even at one point, at like 5 minutes in, the other 6 minutes in, Marlon, whatever the fuck his name is, like ironically, hilariously says he doesn't want any women on the dance floor, and because there never were any women really on the dance floor with them, they were just dancing with each other, as you could see in the clip. Just a bunch of dudes grinding on each other, which again, nothing wrong with that. But these are supposed to be the lady killers that know what they can, know what they want, know what they want to do, and like these guys are basically twerking in the middle of a circle, and then they hate on women for doing these acts, right? Like this is the irony of it all, and this goes on for a while. But outside of that, you also have like your Nick Fuentes types. That was hilarious when Nick Fuentes. I don't think these guys were there. They were like all standing in the club, and again, this is just like it's like a high school prom. Like they're all by themselves, doing nothing. The women are on the other side of the room, talking to each other, texting, and they're so into themselves. There's just no room for the women at all. I'm talking, yeah, man. So this is fantastic. I like we forgot how lame red pill manosphere conservative ideology is, and I'm starting to see a resurgence, right? Because even the more famous individuals like Meg Thee Stallion in the Klay Thompson situation. That brought it back. You know what I mean? They needed one relationship from the one person they hate the most, and it's always going to be Meg, right? Meg, because of the being at the Kamala DNC, being at the Tory Lane situation. They have been trying to tear that black woman down forever. And now that she's ending things with Klay Thompson, you go over on Twitter where the manosphere breeds. You'll see things like this. Y'all celebrated Kevin Samuels passing away. Tory Lane's getting poked. He got poked while he was while he's been in custody, and Will Smith getting cheated on. So everybody celebrated all these things. Although I don't know if anybody really celebrated Will Smith getting cheated on. I don't remember that. I don't remember Will Smith being celebrated for being cheated on. That's not something. Thank y'all for the taps and likes and the views on TikTok as well. Thank you. Hopefully y'all can hear me good. Nobody celebrated. Actually, Jada was a villain for a really long time. It was actually the Manosphere guys who were making fun of Will for being a simp, for staying in a relationship where they like. I'm not saying anybody celebrated. I'm not making anything up. I'm just going off what this guy said. So he's making it up. I don't think anyone celebrated Will getting cheated on. And maybe, it was a simp, guys. Yeah, sure. But like that's the relationship he wanted. That's the dynamic that works for him. People like bashed Will in because she possibly hooked up with Tupac, or maybe it was confirmed she worked with Tupac. Maybe she cheated with this guy, or what's the other fool? Trey Songz. Like people were speculating that they had too close of a relationship, and he had said some things about their time together. So people bashed Will for being in like a quasi-open relationship, and it was the Manosphere people who did all that. Well, no regular people. Nobody give a fuck about that. Like it was these motherfuckers, and now they're using it. And this is what I'm saying. Time is the biggest enemy of stupid people, because they forget what they said and what they were doing back just 6 months ago. a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't know how long the Will Smith situation was, but the Tory Lanez and Kevin Samuels were in the past like 4 or 5 years, somewhere in there. So this guy says, y'all celebrated Kevin Samuels passing away, Tory Lanez getting poked, and Will Smith getting cheated on, but Meg needs to be protected. You motherfuckers will make up any kind of logic to attack black women, especially black women. Now, all women live underneath the oppressive framework of misogyny and the patriarchy, but we all know black women, while being the blueprint, are also the most villainized within that system. What's up, good vibes? What's up, everybody? I see y'all comments. I was just in the middle. But they all want open relationships and to fuck Margot Robbie. Right. I don't know why Margot Robbie gets a pass. Again, not downing anybody. I just don't get the hype behind Margot Robbie. I think it's like that weird Batman fetish thing that they got going on with the DC characters and the Comic-Con shit. Not hating, just not my thing. What up, my boy? So, with that being said, of course, Meg's never been in the wrong. Why wouldn't she deserve to be? This is a black man saying this, by the way. Why wouldn't she be protected? I don't got nothing against Margot Robbie. Just not my type. Not my thing. But this is a black man saying this, by the way. That Meg shouldn't, insinuating that Meg doesn't need to be protected because of what happened to people celebrating what happened to Tory Lanez. People celebrating Kevin Samuels passing away. Now, Kevin, he did bash men and women. He was very thorough about what he said on his platforms about men and women. He would definitely get on dudes who were out of shape, not making enough money, sitting around, things of that nature. But again, he still upheld misogyny and misogynoir against black women. Devalued women who looked a certain way or had kids and things of that nature, saying she wasn't of value to a high value individual. And that's really where that high value man talk took off. In fact, I had an experience the other night on this app, TikTok, that I was talking to a red pillar, right? And I'm going to show you that like this red pill shit is also rooted in anti-blackness because it's conservative ideology and it can't get away from its like inherent anti-blackness, and I'll show you that in a second. So I see this prompt saying women just need to accept that if they want a high value man, you have to deal with everything that comes with him. So basically it's saying that like if he cheats, he cheats. If he does his thing, he does his thing, and you just have to accept that. In fact, he used the word tolerate. So I straight up asked him like, what do you mean by tolerate? What do they have to tolerate shitty behavior? And he said, not really. He said, if a high value man has options, he has a woman at home and there's other women that want him, these women want access to the top 20%, and if, that man has options, so if she wants to hold one down and he wants to go out and mess with other women, he should be able to, and she just has to accept that. Exactly, Kelly. So I said, well, personally, right, if a so-called high-value man is running the streets, has a woman at home, has a family at home, and is sleeping with other women, just because he can, abusing his power, doesn't he lack discipline? Just a simple question, right? Simple question. That, to me, shows me that the so-called high-value individual lacks discipline, D-discipline, dick discipline, as they say. And he's just out here getting his rocks off at any point in time that he can. That lessens his high-valueness. High-value men took their blueprint from liberal white women. That's a good point. After I asked him that question, he said no. Of course, he obfuscated from that and went on and went on. And then he started to say that, like, the women who do these certain things or want these certain men just kind of have to deal with it, whatever. And I forget how we got to the topic of, like, women having value. And I said, so what about high value women? And he said, there's no such thing as a high value woman. No such thing as a high value woman. So my ears perked up. And I asked him, I was like, well, what do you mean there's no such thing as a high value woman? He said, because women don't have a role in society to provide or do certain things as a man would, the same thing that women would say about men. So, there's no such thing as a high value woman. And I said, what do you mean? I said, is technically every woman the same then? And he said, yes. So you're telling me as a high value man, if I'm a high value man, I make the top 20% income, 120,000, whatever the fuck it is, right? I got all the things, I can afford a lifestyle, and I pick a woman as a high value man. I shouldn't like vet her for her family skills, interpersonal skills, emotional maturity, financial responsibility, financial literacy. I shouldn't worry about any of the things, her ability to be a mother. Like, if she's going to be filling this role in my home, there's no difference between a hood booger and a woman with a master's degree who's really educated. So I can have any person, and it's just, that's it. It don't matter. There's no difference between those two women. And I've never actually heard this before from the red pillars, right? I've heard women can't be high value, but you do have to use your, discernment and pick the right type of woman, because you don't want to be stuck with a gold digger or a woman who just wants you for your money. That's what they used to say. They used to say, oh, women are gold diggers, you got to be careful who you run with, so, protect yourself as a high value man. But now there's this new talking point that women have inherently can't be a high value because they're not provisioners. Now, what I would say was weird about the dynamic on the individual show that I was on, or stream, this was like a middle-aged man. Middle-aged Puerto Rican dude or Dominican guy, I don't know what he was. He was some type of Hispanic, Spanish, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He brought up his homeboy and another guy. They all look Latino. And they had a young Latina girl. She must have been in her like early 20s when I first came up on the stage. He was asking me, do I like her? And she's hot, right? Saying all this weird shit. And I was like, all right, I know where this conversation's going. And I politely, said no, I don't. She's, pretty young girl, but she's too young. You know what I mean? She's a pretty girl, but she's in her 20s. Not interested in any of that. Just came up to have a conversation. 20 minutes after that interaction, that first impression, I find out this man is sitting in his home, married, and his wife is in bed while he sits on TikTok in the middle of the night, peddling some 20-something-year-old. Is that high value? It seems like this excuse of being able to make money. It seems like the idea of being able to make money is an excuse to be a shitty human being. And I don't know how conservatism fooled black men and Hispanic men, especially brown Hispanic men, because these guys, you could tell they weren't like white, totally white passing. That all you need is money in your pocket and you just get to be a shitty person in society like a white man. That's not a thing for y'all. There's a ceiling for that. Y'all are not gonna be able to do what Tim and John do. That's not for you. But you're gonna have to find it out the hard way. Kind of like how Myron did when he went to go see TP USA show and got stopped at the door and denied entry because he's brown and they don't like what Muslims look like. You can be a full-blown Christian. If you look like a Muslim, they're not going to let you in. And that's exactly what happened to him. Crazy work. Insane, right? So, I mean, it's not that crazy. It's exactly what we expect him to do. So, after that, a fellow mutual of mine comes up. I'll leave their name out. She, gets to talking with these assholes. And as she's obviously tearing their argument apart, And they start asking the normal questions. Are you single, and is it by choice? Do you have this? Have you ever been married? Blah, blah, blah. And they start trying to use all the triggering questions that they do for women as fucking rudimentary ass bullshit. She's holding her own, doing a fair job. And that's because she's doing that, it triggers them, and then they immediately start making monkey noises and referencing her to be a monkey. They didn't do that to me, but they did it to her. Because she's a woman, and this is inherent misogynistic and anti-blackness. That's what this shit is rooted in. At the end of the day, these motherfuckers are gonna find out that y'all can't be at the cool kids table with them white boys. Now they're gonna keep your women because they love to sleep with your women. They love black women, they love Latino women, they love them all, right? Asian women, especially Asian women, because they're like the closest to white, right? And weird anime freaks. So they're gonna do that, right? They're gonna keep your women. They're gonna treat them like shit. Hell, they treat their own women like shit. But they're never gonna give y'all a full seat at the table. You'll be the lapdog at the side. You know what I mean? Sitting there, prideful, back straight, tail down, silently waiting for scraps to hit the floor. That's the best you could hope for. You're never gonna be one of them. Now, with that being said. Going back to this, I always wondered, what do y'all think is the reason Meg became the face of anti-red pill? It's because male privilege didn't work in that situation. It's because so many women in that situation spoke up and shitted on these niggas that Meg became the center focus of woman hate and anti-liberal policy, and that she also supported Kamala and danced on stage. They are never going to let that woman go. She is going to be forever in the clutches of red pill and manosphere content and conservatives, because she's pretty, accomplished, smart, unapologetic, and she's accomplished. Did I say accomplished? I think it's accomplished, but accomplished. It is baffling to me the way, especially black men, go out of their way to hate on another black woman. And because Klay Thompson, who, if he spoke out against any of them, he would immediately be a quadroon, blah, 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 you not really black, white boy. They would hate on him, right? They throw everything. That's what they do to me. What's up, Adrian? It's fascinating, in almost like a train wreck. It's a train wreck. It's everyone you watch a train wreck. Ladies, let me ask you a question for the ladies who are still in chat. You're on a date, and a guy asks you about Meg Thee Stallion's situation. What do you do? Is that a red flag? Or do you wait, you're going to wait for his reply? Or, if he brings it up at all, that's a red flag, because why would you bring that up? You tell me first. What do you think about it? I'm going to the bathroom and leave it. And then you have the white perspective on the Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion situation. This is some random guy, doesn't have many views or anything. He says, I can't believe women want me to feel bad for Meg Thee Stallion for getting cheated on. She's got a song called WAP. and the rest of her music is about getting D by the pound. Klay Thompson gets the hottest women there is. Honey, you just a number, and he's hit. Or I guess he meant he's it, or he's the shit. Yo, I don't want to sound like a fucking super lefty liberal motherfucker, but sometimes dealing with your own gender within your species is fucking gross. It sucks. When they say stupid things and incomplete sentences and spell things wrong. If you're going to be wrong and loud, at least be intelligent with your fucking grammar and spelling, you fucking troglodyte. Fuck me. What are we doing? The way men slob on them. Yeah, it's just, and then go, like I said, this, and that's why I do the debate that, you know, FBA, red pill, and conservatisms are frameworks put together for people who have, for weak men who lack no real personality, right? Like, there's no, this is just like a buddy bro, like, let's circle jerk each other so we feel better, because God forbid we use any critical thinking skills or hear anybody out or think that our approach or some shit like that is wrong. I'm just going through like some of these tweets and things people say to like try to justify the goofy shit while also like, let's see who this guy is. I don't even know what this is. People just say things, so I'm just looking at their profiles. They got like 12,000 followers on Twitter, but you have a blue check. If you're paying for a blue check, no one's gonna take anything you say seriously. It's not a real thing. And I've done it. Like, I paid for the blue check because they said you get like increased visibility. So I guess maybe if you're trying to be an influencer, it's a good thing. But it really wasn't that great. Like, I'm giving you $11 a month, and you're sure I get like 500 views. I'm good. I'm good on it. I'll keep my $11. So the other thing I want to connect into this red pill resurgence conversation, because like I said, they now have a woman back in the spotlight that they can coalesce around, because at some point, I guess Meg getting cheated on is her taking an L, but then she doesn't get married to a guy who doesn't have any dick discipline and also has millions and millions of dollars and a Hall of Fame NBA career. And so for some reason, men aren't supposed to have a standard when they are successful. It's like the more successful you get as a man, the less standards you have to have, and you sleeping with whoever, creating whatever, is not a thing. And this is why they don't use LeBron James. They never bring up LeBron, because LeBron, people say he cheats in their stories and their speculation and stuff like that, but he's never been caught up in a scandal. It's been Savannah since day one. They don't bring up LeBron, not because you're never going to be LeBron. You're not going to make $1 billion like him. We get rid of that shit. You niggas can't make $100,000 a year and keep your dick in your pants. That's weakness. That's whole behavior. You 6 figures, y'all made the mark because 6 figures is attainable, right? You can go get a degree, you work for a few years, 10 years after you graduate college, you could be in your 30s, mid to young 30s. You're making 90, 100, 120K, depending on the field you're in. And all of a sudden, it's time to, like, just throw your dick around. Like, no, that's not a thing. Y'all are just making up the rules as you go. And there's a reason why you don't use people with fucking standards who, like, are successful, because you can't live up to that. Like, the number one person y'all should be emulating yourself of, if there's anyone, It's fucking LeBron James. He puts in a shit ton of money into his physical health, which y'all always talk about. The man spends over $1 million a year on keeping himself fine-tuned for his craft. He's got a son in the NBA. He's got another son on the way to the NBA. He's got a wife who's his high school sweetheart. Not a ton of bodies on him. He's not running around here just sleeping with anybody. Like I said, as far as we know. And he's rich. Again, you'll never obtain those levels of rich, but you can become pretty successful in this life. I'd like to think, you can make a decent, income and provide for a family. How come nobody wants to be LeBron? Nobody wants to be LeBron. I find that funny. I do. But tying this back to one of my other topics, I'm sick of talking about these fools, but I'm going to talk about them because I'm not going to talk about it with them. You guys know, and I'm going to say the 3 letters that we all love. It's because it is a growing movement and it's concerned with its conservative ideologies and the things that it does. Because again, it connects to Red Pill, because now because Red Pill is inherently like a white space. LeBron James is a high value, right? Yes, and FBA. And I don't want to talk about their logic, I don't want to talk about their politics or anything like that. This FBA is just Red Pill for like black men. And some of you guys know Sweet Peaches. I'm sure all of you guys know Sweet Peaches, but for the the people who may not be out there who don't know, mutual of mine on TikTok, she played a podcast or a video from a couple days ago from this guy Antoine Daniels, MAGA influencer, things of that nature, and Christian conservative values and things. And like, one of the things I found scariest about is the people who I disagree. What do you disagree with? FBA is an institutionalized education. You mean like prison smarts? Like School of Hard Knocks type shit? FBA is Red Pill. Yes, it's manosphere content. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's bar for bar Red Pill content. It preaches the same shit. And outside of the little nugget of like delineation and what they want to delineate for, which again I always say, yeah, I agree with that. Apex, you've been here for over 30 minutes, gang, telling me my content's lame. 30 minutes out of your life, you could have been trading Bitcoin. You on my live telling me my live is lame. Go buy some Shiba Inu or something. Ain't there a cryptocurrency out there you should be mining, gang? If my shit is lame, go do something else. Go be productive with your time. Come on, Zerp. Don't be muting people, bruh. Don't do that. Oh, man. FBA has a completely different motion as Red Pill. I disagree. It literally just rips off the Red Pill framework. It's anti this, it's anti leftism, it's fuck the Democrats, it's misogynistic, it's anti-black, it's fucking and it's all of the things that Red Pill are. They want to live their life in certain ways, pushing conservative ideologies. Like, FBAs are very leftist because they believe in reparations. They just don't know it. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat, Kelly. I don't get very lefty. They have some, but nah, I'm not with you on that. I don't know, Kelly. It's the first time I've disagreed with your take. But I could be wrong. You could be wrong. We definitely got to talk about it. She said they don't know. This is true. Yeah. And that's Thick says still. So Yoli says still want to hear a smart FBA. I think there's some intelligent FBAs out there. I'm not gonna say all of them are dumb. I'm not. They don't all hold the same ideology and the same bad faith arguments all the time. But if you sat me in a room and no one told me someone was FBA and they started arguing their vision with me on politics, I'd be 90% sure they're a Donald Trump supporter, even if they didn't tell me who they voted for, and that was something you couldn't talk about. Like, the only thing that would throw me off would be the fact that they want reparations. And, like, I'd be like, well, if you want reparations, you don't vote for Republicans. Like, Republicans is never, like, I know Democrats and shit like that, they don't do what they're supposed to do, but, like, it's a left ideology. Reparations is definitely going to be on your more progressive side of things, and you're never going to get that from a conservative. They want government intervention, federal protections, forced inclusion. Again, Kelly, I hear your argument. That is left. That is left of them. The other 99% of their argument and the way they feel is conservative shit. What their views on women, their views on communities, their views on immigration, their views on economics. Name a smart FBA. Tariq is an intelligent person. I think ICE, GOP that's on here, while as much as he's a troll and an asshole, he makes intelligent arguments. He knows what he knows. Some of their biggest fighters are women. I think, let's see, who else is there on the FBA side that's pretty smart? I'm trying to think of all the FBA people. Is the host taking requests? Not right now, no. This is my time. I got like another 18 minutes to do an hour. So of all the FBAs I talked to, is Spencer FBA? Some of them aren't conservative. I'll give you that. Some of them aren't conservative. You're right. Well, yeah, I know it's progressive. Like I said, reparations is progressive. But they would like to get progressive to be conservative. It makes no sense to me. They want a progressive foundation thing. Like, they want... Spencer is FBA. Spencer's an intelligent guy. As much as I don't like him, he's intelligent. But they want this progressive policy to be conservative about America. Like, it's a fucking enigma. Spencer is FBA, yeah. Go take some medication. Nope. They do say the same thing over and over again, but I mean, that's just who they are. So, at the end of the day, like I said, the FBA and Red Pill thing is because Red Pillars, right? Red Pill community got behind, and this is why I say it links. I just thought about it. Again, Red Pill got behind Donald Trump because Donald Trump ran with what? The America First agenda. What was the America First agenda? Investing in Americans. Cutting off all this spending to the rest of the world so we can build here and the government build here. Right? That's what they kept telling us. That was progressive. That was socialism. They were arguing for socialism here in America. And they didn't want to admit it. I spent a year on this app arguing with them about that pre-election and post-election. And yeah, they wanted investments. They wanted programs for blue-collar jobs. They wanted to force companies to build here. I don't know, that's not socialism, but you know what I mean. Like, they wanted policy that was going to push the American man back into the heartlands of America and be the building blocks. Yes, I know. But again, all of that progress to live a conservative lifestyle, ban trans people, possibly repeal gay equality rights, undoing the civil rights, parts of the Civil Rights Act, banning DEIA. They're championing anti-abortion, championing anti. What the fuck was the other thing that they got rid of? Affirmative action. It was all progressive foundations for them to hold everyone else back. That's what conservatism has always been. Build men up so men can oppress everybody else. Joe Mama, I don't know what you're talking about, dog. You're being a weirdo. I don't know why you thought people didn't know that, but I'm gonna get you up out of here, Joe. Have a good day, weird ass nigga. See you later. I hope it was worth it. Anyway, sorry to other streams, people over there watching. I had a chat in my TikTok live. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. That's what conservatism has always been. It's progressive policies for men and super conservative ideology and oppressive for everything else. It's just this time, black men think they're going to be included in the conservative progressive ideology for men. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I see it. Yeah. Anyway, outside of that, let's see, where else are we? Donald Trump had Spirit go out of business. They were being racist about that online, but they are not. Stop. Yeah. Who's not? But they are not what? But they are not going to be included? No, they're not going to be included. At all. Not at all. They're never going to be included. They're never going to be equal to their white counterparts. I don't know why they think white billionaires are going to get the idea that they think getting rid of a couple million migrants is going to open up these job opportunities that you will get a living wage at is insane. Insane. In fact, I saw your favorite MAGA creator on this app today before I started my live talking about how the black unemployment is at 5%, and that's a direct correlation because of deportation, massive deportation, right? So mass deportation is happening. Let's just say it is, and that is a direct correlation to the black unemployment going down because those jobs are back out. Now, what y'all told me was these mass deportation numbers had to happen because black people were being held out of jobs. Before mass deportation happened, we were a whole percentage lower in unemployment. So we had to lose our jobs, double our unemployment rate, for them to get rid of migrants, for us to go down to a level lower, not as low as what we were originally before you started removing everybody. And that was supposed to be like the big savior. So now black people have access to a bunch of jobs that don't pay a living wage. Congratulations, you did it. I get to work a second job, not me specifically, but speaking in general as one of the people who got to take a migrant's job, right? My black job has been saved by Donald Trump. I get to go to work at hospitality or construction for $20 an hour. Whoop-de-doo. If I live in Arkansas, that might help me pay for a house. If I live in Nebraska, I'll be able to pay rent. But if I live in cities, right, if I live in a lot of urban areas like large cities, like a lot of black people tend to do because they put us in these cities and force us into these areas, and again, a lot of black people live in rural areas as well. Migrants weren't threatening jobs out there like that. So we were talking about the popular places where migrants go and they threaten the jobs in the cities and where the high population is because they work in hospitality, like hotels, and do things like that, right? So again, where they tend to go. So where these opportunities are opening up, it's just now low-income jobs that don't pay a living wage. So good luck out there, bud. I don't know what to tell you, man. Y'all weren't gonna be happy until they put us back into Jim Crow. That is just what y'all wanted. That's just what y'all needed to happen. I find it. I don't know what I find it. I don't know what I find it anymore. I'm less confused by it, and again, I still find it very troublesome and dangerous, the ideology that they push. I just wish they would be more honest about why it is they want what they want. Why do you need to be legislated back to the head of the household? It's because you have no purpose. You have no purpose in life. Everything your father taught you, everything your grandfather taught you, in a lifestyle that they lived, you feel has been stripped away from you because of migrants, gay people, and the Democrats giving away too much government assistance. Now, some of them have the argument that NAFTA and other policies allowed businesses to go overseas. Republicans and Democrats did that, I want y'all to know, because they are all capitalist. What these people will never agree with and ever just say is that their problem isn't those three categories, right? It's not Democrats, it's not the community, it's not migrants, it's the capitalist society we live in, but they covet it so much that speaking against capitalism is blasphemy. So, they create a boogeyman. There has to be a bad guy. Somebody has to take the brunt of my frustration. And that's what it comes down to. I never thought I'd see today black people were out here blaming other brown people and other black people who come across the border as being the cause of their fucking problems. That has been a whirlwind. Oh yeah, once I saw that It's the Blacks comment. Y'all can get him up out of here. He can come back next time. Mute him for the whole live. Yeah, Gumbo, I don't, black people just attacking what's going on, Nate Ford. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming through with the kick. Thanks for the comment. So let's see. Last thing I'll get into my last final minutes. I'm losing my fucking mind here. 17,000 people have lost their jobs at Spirit Airlines due to lower demands for inside the country travel, spiking gas prices, their inability, with the conflict directly in the Middle East causing a strain on jet fuel for them, cited as one of the reasons, sponsored by your boy Donald Trump. Let's see. And they couldn't get a $500 million bailout from the government, which again, the bailouts. You did bad business. You promoted some things that put you in some financial constraints. I don't really want my tax dollars going to bail you out. But at the same time, do I want 17,000 Americans unable to feed their families? That's a lot of people out of work in a moment's notice. It ain't that many stewardess jobs, or I don't think, how many pilots they had there. I don't even know. They're gate workers. I don't know. The gate workers aren't TSA. They wear the Spirit uniforms and stuff like that. So I'm thinking they work specifically for the airline. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of American jobs. Yeah, Trump wanted 90% control. I know they told him no on that. Yeah, a lot of families displaced, man. But they wouldn't agree to some terms about taking 90% control, which again would have been more socialism, or I don't even know what the fuck you call it. I like the government having control over an airline after we give them a loan. Um, yeah, I know it's wild that they are blaming Trump. Luggage handlers, yeah, all of that, yeah. Culture, if I'm Drake, you're T-Pain, dog. Let's be real. I just want you to know that. If I look like Drake, you down there looking like that Florida boy. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur looking ass nigga. What up, Rashawn? So, let's see. So the Spirit Airlines thing, and why I wanted to get into this, right? Reset my live goal. Appreciate y'all, man. I'll do that right now. So the reason why I wanted to bring up the Spirit thing is not just because of the political side and the unfortunate people losing their jobs and things of that nature, because again, that is 1,000% what the worst possible outcome. You know, those people were probably hoping the government would bail them out so they can go to work the next day and continue to feed their families. And now we got, you know, all these people back in the job market. Some people, you know, I don't know what that means for people who are retiring, what their kind of effects that takes, who had what special privileges. People fly, you know what I mean? They stand by, buddy passes, all that shit. You know, help people get back and forth to shit. It's a lot of perks that come to that. They save a lot of people a lot of money. But why is because I just wanted to show, like, just because Spirit Airlines went out of business, the internet still find a way to be racist about it. Let's see here. Let's see what they were saying on there. Did you seriously just post a story about Ross? Oh man! And the craziest part is I've taken a Spirit flight one time. They got small planes. I don't like the planes. They're small. They don't have the extra legroom seats. I'm a tall person. Somebody mute Ford. That'd be great. And then this guy's like Ryan. This guy Ryan, he posts. This is Frontier Airlines after Spirit gets shut down. A bunch of people smoking cigarettes. Does he think you could smoke cigarettes on an airplane? Or like people smell like cigarettes? I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. It's a bad job. A bad job of being racist, or whatever. Oh, let's see what we got here. And then they're like posting videos like this is another black man, Lorenzo, this guy apparently black man. You can't take anybody for sure on Twitter. Says guess the airlines, and he says Spirit because there's a bunch of people fighting, and it looks like there's a few black people involved, but from what I can see, it's black people putting hands on white individuals. Now I'm not the smartest guy in the room. You only fly women out on Spirit? If that culture says he only flies women out on Spirit, it means he can't afford business class on United. That's tough, gang. Shouldn't be flying women out if you can't at least give them a comfortable ride back to the spot. You don't do Uber X either? It's no look. That's not a good look, culture. It's not a good look, gang. You're letting people know your pockets is short. That's tough. So there you so going back to the clip here, there's black people in a fight with some Caucasians. Now I'm not the smartest man in the room. I'm not, right? I'm not the smartest man in the room. But the only time I've ever known black people to put hands on our lesser melanated countrymen, I'll say, is because they said something stupid. And that's undeniable. We all know that. Like, there's like, black people just don't attack white people for being white. I'm sorry, that's just when y'all gotta eat when it comes to the double standards. Like, that's black people mind they fucking business. If it don't got nothing to do with you, it never had anything to do with you. But but white people will always find a way into your business. Yeah, culture, it's all good, bro. I know we're just talking shit. You know what I mean? Um, it's never been a thing. You know what I mean? It's never been a thing that black people get in white people. In fact, we go on our way to not get in white people's business because I don't want no parts of that. I don't. Oh man. Let's see what we got here. It's accurate to say that the bankruptcy is that. Okay, so here's one that she's brought up that they're saying it's Biden's fault, and this is the reason why they were saying. I was trying to remember. And stop text calling me a snitch. You are white. 619 Mac. I am white, and that is the only time in your life you said something that fell out of your troglodyte lips that was semi-correct. Because I'm only half white, so you are technically semi-correct. So congratulations to you. Stickers in the back. You can go back to using the building blocks when you're done. You know, we got the big ones, not the Legos. I know motor functions, fine motor skills are hard for you, so we got you the big chunky blocks, not Legos. You just snap them together. They're really easy to use. You know what I mean? I know you got them big dumbass hands that don't let you grab things. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Is they say it's accurate that this bankruptcy is by the Biden administration's fault because the Biden administration didn't allow JetBlue to buy Spirit Airlines because of like monopoly, you know, the antitrust laws and stuff like that. One person owning too much of a conglomerate, or too much of a large conglomerate, too much of a certain field. We don't want that. I know it's not true for it, but this is the thing that they're saying. But you know what did happen is your boy Trump allowed one company to pass the FCC? Yeah, the FCC's laws on how much one company can own of American media. I think it was like 30%, 32%, something like that. The merger was illegal, right? But Trump, he allowed that. You know, that the guy that he put at the head of the FCC is willing to entertain. Said this in court that he would, you know, or some fucking congressional hearing that he was going to bump it up and see what that would happen, and then like whoever bought 30 to 35 sounds right, yeah. So now one company owns a shit ton of access to millions of people.